Most people think respect comes from being attractive, wealthy, or successful. But the truth is far different. The people who earn lasting admiration often possess something much deeper, an unshakable character. Long before modern psychology existed, the Stoic philosophers discovered 6 timeless habits that naturally make others respect, trust, and admire you. If you master these habits, you won't have to chase approval ever again. People will notice the quiet confidence you carry, the strength in your actions, and the peace in your presence. Stay with me until the end, because the 6th habit is the one that separates ordinary people from truly unforgettable individuals. In today's world, many people spend years trying to become more attractive by changing their appearance, buying expensive clothes, or seeking constant validation on social media. Yet the most respected people rarely rely on any of these things. Their presence speaks before they do. Their calmness commands attention. Their discipline inspires trust. This is the power of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus believed that true attractiveness is built from within. It is reflected in your habits, your decisions, and the way you treat others. These timeless principles are just as powerful today as they were nearly 2,000 years ago. Jane, before we begin, if you enjoy videos about Stoicism, self-improvement, and timeless wisdom, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Daily Stoic Dose, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another lesson that can strengthen your mind and transform your life. Many people spend their entire lives trying to impress others. They carefully choose the right words, wear expensive clothes, and constantly worry about how they appear in the eyes of society. Yet, despite all of this effort, they often feel invisible. The reason is simple. Real respect has never come from appearances. It comes from character. The Stoics understood this truth centuries ago, and it remains just as powerful today. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history, but he never believed his position alone deserved admiration. Every day he reminded himself that power without virtue meant nothing. His goal was never to appear important. His goal was to become a person worthy of respect. This difference changed everything about the way he lived. The first habit is learning to remain calm under pressure. Most people lose control the moment life becomes difficult. A small disagreement ruins their mood. A single insult controls their emotions for hours. Unexpected problems cause panic instead of patience. But the Stoic understands that emotional control is one of the greatest forms of strength. Imagine standing beside the ocean during a violent storm. The waves crash endlessly against a massive cliff. The water makes noise. The wind becomes aggressive, yet the cliff remains exactly where it has always stood. This is how your mind should become. Let the chaos exist around you without allowing it to exist within you. People naturally admire those who remain composed during difficult situations because calmness creates a sense of safety. It communicates confidence without needing to announce it. When everyone else is reacting emotionally, the calm person immediately stands out. Their presence becomes reassuring because they demonstrate control over themselves before trying to control anything else. Epictetus taught that external events are never truly ours to control. The only thing that belongs completely to us is our response. This simple lesson changes everything. Instead of asking why difficult things happen, begin asking how you can respond with greater wisdom. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen your character rather than weaken your spirit. The second habit is speaking less and listening more. In modern society, many people believe confidence means talking the most. They interrupt conversations, rush to share opinions, and constantly seek attention. Yet truly wise people understand that silence often carries more power than endless words. Seneca believed that nature gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen twice as much as we speak. When you genuinely listen, people feel respected. They feel understood. They begin trusting you because you give them something increasingly rare in today's world: your full attention. 1. There is a quiet confidence in someone who doesn't need to dominate every conversation. Instead of trying to prove their intelligence, they ask thoughtful questions. Instead of waiting impatiently for their turn to speak, they seek to understand. This habit not only improves relationships, but also increases wisdom, because every conversation becomes an opportunity to learn something new. The 3rd habit is keeping your promises, especially the small ones. Trust is never built through grand speeches. It is built through countless small actions repeated consistently over time. Every promise you keep strengthens your reputation. Every commitment you honor tells people they can depend on you. Think about 2 individuals. One constantly talks about loyalty, honesty, and discipline, but rarely follows through. The other speaks very little but quietly delivers on every commitment. Which one earns your respect? The answer is obvious. Words may create impressions, but actions create trust. Marcus Aurelius believed that a person's life should reflect their principles. If you value honesty, let honesty appear in your actions. If you value discipline, demonstrate discipline consistently. Integrity is simply the habit of making your actions match your beliefs. This is why small promises matter so much. Arriving on time, returning a phone call, completing your work without excuses, and honoring even minor commitments all send the same message. They tell the world that your word has value. In an age where many people make promises they never intend to keep, reliability becomes extraordinarily attractive. Respect cannot be demanded, it cannot be purchased, it cannot be forced. It is earned quietly through repeated demonstrations of character. Every disciplined choice you make becomes another brick in the foundation of your reputation. Most people spend years trying to become more interesting. The Stoics would suggest something different: become more dependable, become more disciplined, become more. These qualities may not attract immediate attention, but they create lasting admiration that never depends on appearances. As you continue through life, remember that people may forget your achievements, your possessions, or even your words, but they rarely forget how your character made them feel. When your actions consistently reflect wisdom, patience, and integrity, respect begins to grow naturally without you ever having to ask for it. The habits you've learned so far are only the beginning. The next 3 Stoic habits are even more powerful because they shape not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Once you master them, your confidence will no longer depend on approval, and your presence will naturally command respect wherever you go. The 4th habit is practicing humility, even when you have every reason to be proud. One of the greatest misunderstandings in modern society is believing that confidence and humility cannot exist together. The Stoics believed the opposite. True confidence has no need to announce itself. It doesn't seek constant praise because it already knows its own value. Have you ever noticed that the wisest people in a room are often the quietest? They don't interrupt others to prove they're intelligent. They don't compete for attention. They don't feel threatened when someone else succeeds. Instead, they remain calm, respectful, and secure in who they are. This quiet confidence is incredibly attractive because it makes others feel comfortable rather than intimidated. Aurelius ruled an empire, yet every morning he reminded himself that he was simply another human being doing his duty. He never allowed power to become arrogance because he understood that pride often blinds people to their own weaknesses. Humility keeps the mind open to learning. It reminds us that no matter how much we know, there is always more wisdom to discover. People naturally admire those who celebrate others instead of competing with them. They respect those who can admit mistakes without making excuses. A humble person doesn't lose respect by saying, "I was wrong." In fact, they gain even more because honesty is a rare form of courage. Belonging, the fifth habit is protecting your emotional energy. Many people spend their days reacting to everything they see. Every criticism ruins their mood. Every negative comment demands a response. Every disagreement becomes a personal battle. By the end of the day, they are emotionally exhausted, not because life was difficult, but because they gave their peace away too easily. Epictetus taught that if someone insults you, their words only have power if you choose to accept them. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Now imagine that every insult, every opinion, and every piece of criticism becomes another stone inside that bag. Eventually, the weight becomes unbearable. The Stoic chooses a different path. Instead of collecting unnecessary burdens, they leave them behind. They understand that not every opinion deserves their attention. Beyond, there is something deeply attractive about a person who cannot be easily disturbed. They smile instead of arguing. They remain composed They refuse to waste energy proving themselves to people who have already decided not to understand them. This emotional discipline creates a powerful presence because it communicates inner strength without saying a single word. Seneca once wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about how much time people lose worrying about what others think of them. They replay conversations in their minds, imagine criticism that never happens, and create problems that don't exist. Meanwhile, the Stoic focuses on reality. They ask one simple question: can I control this? If the answer is no, they refuse to let it steal their peace. The sixth and most powerful habit is living with unwavering discipline. Discipline is the foundation upon which every other Stoic virtue is built. Without discipline, good intentions disappear. Goals remain unfinished. Promises become empty words. But with discipline, ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Most people wait until they feel motivated before taking action. The Stoics knew that motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel inspired, other days you don't. If your actions depend entirely on your emotions, your progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline changes this completely. It teaches you to do what must be done regardless of how you feel. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. Every strike of the hammer shapes the metal little by little. No single strike creates the finished blade. It is the repeated effort that transforms raw steel into something strong and valuable. Your habits work exactly the same way. Every workout, every book you read, every promise you keep, every moment you choose patience instead of anger is another strike shaping your character. And people admire discipline because they understand how difficult it is. They know the strength required to wake up early when you would rather sleep, to continue learning when progress feels slow, and to remain honest when dishonesty appears easier. Discipline earns respect because it cannot be faked. It reveals itself through consistent action over time. The Stoics believe that your character is built in private long before it is recognized in public. The world only sees the results, but you know the countless moments of quiet effort that created them. Every time you choose growth over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and wisdom over impulse, you become a stronger version of yourself. There will always be people who seek attention through loud words, flashy lifestyles, or temporary success. They may receive admiration for a short time, but lasting respect belongs to those whose character remains steady through every season of life. The person who treats everyone with kindness, controls their emotions, keeps their promises, protects their integrity, and lives with discipline becomes unforgettable. And as you reflect on these 6 Stoic habits, ask yourself which one needs the most attention in your own life. Perhaps you need greater patience. Perhaps you need stronger discipline. Perhaps you need to listen more and speak less. Real growth begins the moment you stop trying to impress others and start improving yourself. The beautiful truth about Stoicism is that these habits are available to everyone. They don't require wealth, fame, or natural talent. They require only commitment and daily practice. Every morning gives you another opportunity to become calmer, wiser, more disciplined, and more trustworthy than you were yesterday. One day, people will describe you as someone they admire. They won't necessarily remember every word you spoke, but they will remember how safe they felt around you, how dependable you were, and how your presence inspired confidence. That is the kind of respect that lasts a lifetime. So stop chasing admiration. Stop seeking validation. Stop trying to become attractive through appearances alone. Build your character instead. Because when your character becomes strong, respect follows naturally. And when respect is earned through virtue rather than image, no one can take it away. And if this message inspired you, please like this video, subscribe to Daily Stoic Dose, and turn on the notification bell for more timeless lessons on Stoicism, self-discipline, and personal growth. Share this video with someone who is striving to become a better version of themselves, because one timeless lesson can change a life forever. And always remember this timeless Stoic truth. True attraction begins with character. Master yourself, and respect will follow naturally.